Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. So we're going to dive right into this. The energy that's coming out for this is coming forward from a guide collective, and it's a very small group. So this is a very specific message, and it's meant for very specific people. I will give symbols for this because of that, but first I kind of want to express what kind of energy this is. This is not an energy that is at the forefront of someone's mind. I know a lot of my messages tend to be confirmation, and this is still confirmation. However, it's a little bit more of a, hey, maybe examine this a little bit closer. There seems to be inspirations or thoughts that come drifting in and out about this particular energy, but it's not taken the importance or the center stage within our awareness that maybe we should allot it, right? It hasn't gotten the type of attention that we should give it necessarily. So that's why this is coming forward today. So the collective that this message is for is a collective who has been off and on feeling called to journey to a place. I have this. In case it matters, we do have images of Stonehenge and Petra. And this seems to be one of two things. So on one hand, it may be that this is an ancestral place, so a home that we need to revisit, or a family like land that we need to go to. It may even be a state where a lot of your family were when you were being raised, right? Something like that. And then on the other hand, it feels like a power location, a very sacred place to either Aboriginal people or maybe your ancestors in the distant past. But it's a place where certain practices, certain observances occurred. And both of these places, it has something to do with memory, right? I have some cards here that I'm not going to read the way that they're meant to be read. I'm going to read the images off of them because this is a little bit more of an abstract energy that's coming through. There is this feeling that this memory and this energy is one that we're being supported towards because it winds up filling in a piece of the puzzle, right? So if it's a family thing, maybe you've been working through your healing journey, or maybe you've been working on trying to better your life, and there's something here within this memory or this energy that either needs to be given back or needs to be absorbed. I can't tell which one it is. Over here with the power location, it's the same thing. Either something needs to leave us through this location or something needs to be absorbed. For some of you, the reason why the power location is so important is because you do have a more shamanic sort of calling, and that's what this location seems to be holding within it. Whether that is shamanism in the true sense, or like a form of shamanism that you identify with, right? I don't want to label that. I don't want to say, yes, this is truly shamanism, but it feels almost as though the person that I'm speaking to in that sense may feel that they practice shamanism. And so I'm honoring it that way, right? This feels like something that will further your own practices. For some of you, this is not just about connecting to the earth and understanding something that sits deep within our soul signature. It is about connecting to something else, right? Something that maybe we haven't necessarily established contact with for a very long time. Okay. So what we get is over here is we get this sort of guide that seems to be navigating us towards this place, and they're very hands-off, right? They're not grabbing you and putting you there. They have their hand open and they're waiting for you to kind of find your way there. However, what seems to be happening is there's some sort of resistance. We have the singer of intuition. So there's inspiration coming from this being saying, hey, this is the next part of your journey. You may want to go to this place. But we have this resistance. This is a singer of intuition. The reason why I'm reading this as resistance right now is because of this image. I'm seeing this almost like us, our reality, and the reality of this location with all this energy built around it. There are layers and layers and layers of energy stretching through time. And when we come close to this, or when we turn our eye towards it, we're coming up against that energy, and that energy is creating some resistance. And so we may think of this place and think, oh, that would be a nice thing to do, but I'll do it later, right? Or it might be, that's an awful lot of money to have to go there, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. Something like that. There's something where we dismiss the idea because of, and then fill in the blank. the part of your journey that you seem to be on right now is this beautiful unfolding, this true expression of the self. I talk a lot about authenticity when I talk about this sort of energy. Some of you are really working on that solar chakra space, and really learning to open up and actualize as a person. And we're learning that our resonation, our vibration, does affect our greater reality. There does seem to be this larger than life being here who is helping us, who is guiding us. They may be even using someone else to help guide us, right? They seem to be using the easiest way possible. That's very much how that feels to me, kind of like, because I'm seeing water, and they're taking the easiest way that they can to try to give the message to you. And there's some sort of path here though, and they're like leaving these little cookie trails, right? Little breadcrumb trails for us to follow. However, we're very immersed inside of something that's going on right now, so we may be missing some of this. Again, especially in terms of this journey that we're being called to take. There are signs around you, however, for whoever this message is for. You will recognize it's your message if there's some place that you've been called to journey to that you keep thinking of, and you keep seeing signs of it around you. So that's how specifically you're going to know if this is your message. And then I'll give some symbols too after this. There seems to be people who are talking about this place, or maybe it's showing up on your Google wallpaper on your laptop, for example, or maybe it is a place that you keep reading about. Maybe it's a place that you just happened to pass by recently, or that you moved close to. It's something like that. There's something in our environment that keeps reflecting this need to journey there to us, because again, it's like this hand that's just like, here, what about this? Hey, are you going to pay attention to this one? How about this one? Let me drop this over here. And but we're just so busy, and you know, this happens. We get very caught up in the things that we're concerned about, right? You are being asked to kind of pull your attention away and allow your environment to speak to you for just a little bit, because there are certain things that are trying to come through. With the Spirit Dancer, what this card means is it means allowing yourself the freedom to creatively express. Right now we seem to have goals, we seem to have some determination in what we're trying to unfold as, and to take more of a passive stance just for a second and allow ourselves to really tap into that intuitive information, so that it's not that we're charging forward towards it, right? We're not charging forward towards it. We're just allowing it to come down to us. There's some sort of insight or illumination that's going to take place that, oh yeah, I have been receiving guidance about going to this place. Maybe I should go, right? How do I make this happen? Okay, so they want me to give the symbols now before I move over here. Okay, so the symbols are a purple pen. There's a yellow lighter. I think I've had yellow lighter before. Okay, and then those flowers, bluebells, but I also see a blue bell of some kind. It's almost like it's got China, that China sort of pattern, like the blue and white. Okay, there's a folding table and a picture frame that somebody is painting. I'm seeing like a pendant. I can't tell if it's a pendant or if it's again a keychain. I had a keychain the other day. I can't tell which one. It's just dangly, and it's like a Metatron's cube. Huge deja vu on that one. And then also something about not the Halloween spider webbing, but some kind of fake spider web. And then a wooden box that has something inside of it that's very precious to us. Okay, so those are the symbols. Going back to that energy of allowing this to kind of come down to us, we move into this card, and this is the Tower. However, I'm not reading it as the Tower. I'm seeing this woman here. She's standing on this rock, and she's receiving these downloads or this energy from this land, from this other place. It is literally this land that is calling you, that is asking you to return or journey back. For those of you who are, again, I am getting a heavy shamanism sort of practice here. For those of you who practice anything like that or anything similar to that, you are going to understand what I mean by that. That there's a sentience to this land, or a spirit of the land, that seems to be calling to us. And there's some sort of paradox wrapped up in that, though. I don't know what that is. And I'm saying that because the pook shows up. So there seems to be some sort of paradox. On one hand, maybe we want to go, and on the other hand, again, we are hesitant for some reason. And this may have something to do, especially if it was like a family home or something familial, that may have something to do with that paradox within us. And so we may need some time to actually think about this, to figure out if this is something that we really want to do. You are being asked to review this, right? Like, hey, consider this a little bit more. It's not that this is what you're supposed to do, right? It's just that this is an inspiration being given to you. There's some sort of energy wrapped up in this place that either is going to impact you in a profound way that helps you in this next phase of your life, or it begins a sort of lesson, some sort of healing. Oftentimes that type of healing is rather difficult, right? It is rather difficult. So this is kind of what's happening here. We have both of these cards that have this beautiful radial energy around it. And it may be that there's something about this land that charges or initiates a little bit of a darker energy that maybe we don't want to fall into, especially if it's familial. This ancestral, or not ancestral, this sort of power spot, it does feel like a very underworld sort of energy. It feels very old, very ancient, very dark, right? And there's something very cleansing about that energy, but it may have to put us in this energy first before we can experience more of this from it. Okay, and here what we come to is we come to the Queen of Voices and honesty. This resistance, right? It's sitting opposite this resistance. And so this resistance here is something that we have to be honest with ourselves about. And that's one of the things that this collective is bringing forward. You're being asked to review why we aren't taking this pull seriously, or the thoughts to visit this place terribly seriously. Maybe you have, right? But for those of you who haven't, this is what is being asked of you, to really get clear inside of yourself, to understand what kind of thoughts are taking place, what kind of feelings are taking place in association to this this pull, and to be very honest with yourself, because there's something very important for you, which is why this being who is helping you, who is kind of supporting your journey, keeps kind of throwing these little inspirations at you for this thing. Like, hey, for some of you, there's some sort of emotional water that's going to have to be bridged in order to visit this place. I do feel that for some of you, this is an intimidating endeavor, and that the reason why it's so intimidating is because there may be a lot of pain wrapped up in this place. Whether it's pain due to the experiences of the native people, or it's pain due to the experiences of what happened in your family. This is very much an empath card for me. This is Talum the Poet. There's a lot of energy that needs to be released, both from us and from the land. It's almost, I'm going to be honest, there's like this symbiotic relationship that seems to be coming up here with the Singer of Connection. We have these two cards. These are my last two cards. There's an intertwining and an understanding of oneness that has taken place, a little bit more than maybe what we already had in the person who this message is for. And so we're understanding that things are interconnected and they're linked. There's something here about freeing a particular energy from you as the land takes it, or freeing a particular energy from the land as you receive it and process it. But this may be where this hesitation comes in. This is deep work. Whoever this message is for, you're being called to a place where there's deep work. Again, there's something in it for you in terms of your own healing and your own sort of excuse me, your own sort of memory activation, or an energy activation of some kind, which I think may happen very quickly for some of you, but for others of you, it's going to take time, right? It's going to take time to fully integrate and show itself. But for some of you, again, it's about healing this place and healing yourself through this place. due to the interconnection of things. I'm seeing this as like various generations with their memories all stacked on top of each other. There are layers and layers and layers, but again, we see this beautiful rose path. This is where we get the knowledge that our path, these beautiful pink roses, are intertwined with the paths of those who came before us. There is almost, it's almost as though, okay, I'm gonna get real abstract here. It's almost as though a spell or a blessing or something was planted on this land, and we need some of that energy going forward, right? It's like it still has things to offer people. It still has things to offer the children of Earth, for example. Whether this is an ancestral home where you know, we oftentimes we absorb the power of those who came before us when we go to these places, and something about, for some of you, you may know that if it is just a power location, there's something going on with the geomagnetics due to some sort of mineral content in this land. There's something about the way that the magnetics of this land interact with your own field that is very important. I don't understand all of that, but I'm gonna leave that there. There's something there that's very important. Okay, so that's all there is. So I'm going to leave that there. And if this resonated for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment. And until next time.